Hi everyone, it's Nikki. So last week we were looking at this image and I said we would do like a little tutorial of how to colour this in. So we did the face last week, so if you didn't see that you can catch it. It'll be on video 1 of this series. So today I'm going to do the rest of the hair. So the colours that you are going to need here for the hair, please, if you didn't see video 1, you really need to see it because I explain quite a lot of things about the graphic colours. So I'm using graphic markers, which are fantastic. So first colour we're going to use is 1230. Okay, and the way I kind of like to colour is I tend to go light to dark. Okay, and the reason I like to do that is because as an artist, you know, less is more, and you can always add it, but you can't take it away. But if you have to colour how you are comfortable, the way you are comfortable, basically. So my big thing that I'm really rubbish at is leaving enough white in the hair for highlights. Okay, you need highlights, otherwise it looks really flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roughly kind of pull in. So this 1230 is actually my lightest colour I'm going to use today. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm kind of following the lines on the image. So this is my Shannon digi-stamp, which you can get off the Polkadoodles website. And our theme on the graphic challenge this week is autumn colours. Okay, so this kind of is to fit in with that. So I'm going to do that. Now, if you were doing blonde hair, quite frankly, you could get away with that. You don't necessarily need to add anything else into it. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to jump to 3190, which is Wenge, and this is one of the 2 darkest skin tones that actually darkest browns that there are in graphite. So you can see it's really dark colour. Okay, and the reason I'm using this is because I want to just establish where my darkest roots of her hair are going to be. Okay, so it's kind of like I'm setting the boundary, because what I've done is I've put in the lightest tones. I've left lots of white here, look, so I kind of know where my white should generally be for my highlights. But now I'm going to pick out where all my darkest bits are. So, and by doing it this way, I can actually see the artwork still. If I actually left this right to the end, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but it's kind of difficult sometimes once you've actually got loads of colour on to actually see where the lines of the image are. So it's like there's a curl there, and it might actually be quite difficult to see behind there. So put a little tiny bit in here, not too much. I'm not putting too much of this on because it's such a strong colour, but round the base of the hair. Okay, so just tiny little strokes, and this is why you kind of need your brush nibs. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I have certain colours that I like to have my brush nibs on. I tend to find that all my browns have got them on, because I find that I can get a much finer point with my brush tips. Now, can you see I'm actually holding the nib really low down, and that actually means that my hands aren't brilliant. I actually have quite unsteady hands. Sometimes I get carpal tunnel. You probably heard me banging on about it, boring you to death. But it is important when I colour, because sometimes I can, be a bit wavy. So it actually enables me, when I hold the nib really close like that, it helps me actually have a bit more control. So if you struggle with control, try holding the nib really low down on your hand. Right, that's all I'm going to do with that. So now I'm going to work back down my colours, and this is where I had a bit of an epiphany. I think that's what they call it. I don't know. It's a posh word for me. Right. So that was 3-1. So we've done 1230, 3190. Now, as you work, you need to be putting your colours to a side so that you know what you're actually using. So at this point, I started looking for my next colour, and I'm like thinking, all right, okay, 3180, I think, is my next one. Yeah, that's on my desk, so I must have gone there. So 3180, it's a nice warm reddy brown. Okay, kind of a bit of a mahogany kind of colour. It's lovely. So I added a little bit of that in, okay, not too much again, just some little flicks of it. So, you know, if you flick, you kind of get a nice motion and a nice sort of, don't push. Basically, you kind of need to flick the pen, and you just get a nice sort of free-flowing stroke that way, okay? So, just not too much, because we don't want it too dark. We want to keep some of the depth in what we're doing. And if you go wrong, don't worry, it can always be. Usually, there are not many mistakes you can't get over, to be quite honest. Okay, so just remember, anything that's behind is going to be a bit darker. Okay, but we still need to pick up the light tones. So, at this point, I start thinking, oh, yeah, it's quite red, that 3180. Maybe that wasn't the right colour to go for, even though it's quite near 3190. So I thought, red. Yeah, let's go red. So I had a look on my colour chart, and I looked at the reds, and out flew burgundy. Okay, and I adore this colour. Now, I don't have a nib on this, so I basically just went for it. I thought, right, I'm going to just go for it. And look at it. I love it. Absolutely love this combination. So, you know, it was kind of a bit of a, well, just a bit of a moment where you just think, oh, let's go for it. Let's do something cool. And I was kind of going to go for, you know, an all-out red look. And then when I started putting it on, I kind of liked it with the blonde in there and just not having too much going on. So let's go with it. So as I say, not often anything that you do that can't be rectified. So try not to push your pen around. You see, I kind of pushed it there. I'm going to twist my work round. So always twist, especially in the hair. So basically, you know, if you're right-handed, you need to be flicking towards the left. So you want all your little flicking bits pointing that way. So wherever you're going to flick, apart from I'm just going to lie and go the other way, there. But that's just because I'm around. I just want to differentiate those kind of curls there, those little, oops, gone outside the lines, never mind. Okay, but can you see how, because I'm twisting my work, I can actually follow the contour of the hair around. So I'm going to put a bit more under there. Now, can you see now why I wanted to get those dark areas in, but also the lighter areas? Because I've actually gone over. This is what I do. I'm kind of a strong person. I always like go to the really strong colours, and I overdo it. I overcook it quite a lot. So that was burgundy. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to 1230 because I've got a lot of dark in here, and I kind of want to come back, okay, without losing any highlight. So I'm going to come back, and I'm not really, you don't really need to blend this too much. Maybe if you've got some sort of odd strokes that you don't like, you could always pull in a couple of other colours at this point. Crikey, I'm on 8 minutes already. So if you wanted to blend this in a little bit more, you could maybe think about using, you could go to like something bright like 2180. We've got that on my desk. I don't think I have. Bear with me. So let's see what 2180 would look like. Just pulled in, because it is autumn. Oh, that's quite nice. That gives her a real fiery tone. You know, but just to play around, don't be scared. At the end of the day, what's to be scared of? Because it's just a bit of paper. The only thing you've lost is your time and a little tiny bit of ink. But you might just discover something really cool. I like that, actually. Let's just keep that going. So a little, not too much. Make her hair a little bit more fiery, won't it? So just don't forget those little curls at the end. I do really like this image.